Hello lovers of indie games, today we'll be talking about the newly released game The Pale Beyond, a resource management visual novel of sorts game where you need to survive the freezing temperatures of the South Pole. Now as always, let's jump straight into the review, so we'll be talking about story, gameplay, graphics and what I thought about the game. These will be segmented so you can jump along to check them out. Leave a comment about what you think of The Pale Beyond or if you'll be picking it up. Enjoy! The Pale Beyond puts you in the boots of a man named Robin Shaw, the first mate aboard the Temperance, sailing towards a missing ship that was lost 5 years earlier in the South Pole that your mysterious benefactor wishes you to find. Shortly into the journey, your ship becomes wedged into the ice below and unable to move forwards anymore. Everyone turns to the captain for answers at this time, but it seems he has plans of his own. When you wake up the next morning, it would appear the good old Captain Hunt has disappeared along with 3 other crewmates from the Temperance. Food is missing along with other supplies. The crew is confused at what has happened and look towards you for answers. It's at this point you become the captain now, and you'll either lie or be honest to get the crew through this horrible expedition. You're told you need to wait 40 weeks for a rescue team. Can you hold out and ensure the safety of everyone else on the ship? Now, I would love to go through more about the story as I sat down and completed the whole thing. It took me around 6 hours to complete with the ending I pushed for, but I will say this, I didn't expect the ending I got. Not once did I think there was an option that it would go this way, and all I would say is, I went into the cave. I know, right? If you've played, you'll understand what I'm on about. If not, maybe you'll want to go into the cave yourself. Oh, my bad. Anyway, it's gameplay time everybody, and I'll be splitting it into 2 sections, one being the resource management side of the game, and the other being the visual novel decision-based gameplay. So the way it works is your crew is split into multiple different areas. You have sailors who do the bulk of the work, scouts who can scout out a new area on the map, engineers who keep people warm around the furnace, and scientists who can make medicine if needed. All of them play a vital role in keeping everyone alive during this voyage. Now from the start of the game, you'll learn all about the resources you'll need to be managing during the voyage itself. Mainly these are food and fuel. Food for all the crew, and fuel for the boiler so you don't freeze to death. And at the start, it slowly eases you into learning how you can use the crew to get more resources to stockpile these up. At the end of each week, you'll get to decide how much of each resource is used. Are you going to give normal portions to the crew for food, or give a little bit more to better morale, or less to save food for the next week? It's a tricky balancing act, and towards the end of the game, you are really running on a tightrope to survive. Each week is as close to the danger zone as you can get. So to keep on top of your resources, you can send the crew out to gather them for you, because obviously you're going to need more to survive. This happens firstly by sending a scout out to survey an area for potential goods. These are normally penguins, seals, or you can find resource areas. Once scouted, you need to send out another group of people to gather or research the materials for fire or wood. The bigger the animal though, the more food it will provide. The way this part works is that you have dogs that you can use to send people out to these areas. You'll only have a certain amount that you can use each week, so you've got to really decide whereabouts you want to send people or where you want to scout your next area. And I can bet you've all been sat there thinking, well, what happens if I don't have enough? If you do get to the end of the week and you don't have enough food to feed everyone, or enough fuel to heat up the camp, everyone and everything that you see will sadly perish, and you'll need to go back a few weeks to redo what you did wrong. The way this works is that the game will auto-save every time that a new week starts. If you do go back to a certain week, it will start you at the very start of that day, so the morning time, for you to be able to go and change things around that might be wrong. So if you've run out of food, instead of maybe saving someone, you might need to go and send everyone to gather food so that the whole camp can survive instead of just one person. Brutal, right? Visual novel time, and honestly, the story and the little personal arcs with all the crew are fantastic. I was taken aback by how in-depth the game was when you start to talk to the crew, as each important person can either hate you or become loyal to you as the new captain. I chose to take the route of trying to get everyone to become loyal to me, and you do this by either taking their side in an argument or being similar to them when they're talking to you one-on-one. After a while you understand how each member of the crew works, and it's fairly straightforward to get on their sides. So if someone who is a little bit grumpy says, "Oh, I don't like it here today," just be a little bit grumpy with them and you're bound to get their respect. The main reason you'll want people on your side and loyal is that throughout the game, they will all face adversity in the face of different dangers. Now, if they are loyal to you, then they will listen to your reason and come around to be level-headed again. But if not, there's no telling what someone might do. They might just walk off into a blizzard and get lost, which means they'll sadly perish. Or they might start to get aggressive towards the other members of the crew. And do you really want to find out what will happen if this does come about? I definitely didn't want to, so friends with everyone, please. Now, the only negative I have about this part is that as decision-making games go, it wasn't really anything groundbreaking. Literally, as you're on ice and it could break, but it's something that we've seen before. That doesn't mean it's a bad thing. It just, you always hope for something a little bit more when you're playing these types of games, and it kind of missed the mark there. Let's keep plowing through the snow onto the graphics section, and all I can say is it's beautiful. And that's it, we're moving on. Beautiful. No, but in all seriously, I'm a big fan of hand-drawn scenes and characters, so when it starts to play, I always feel the urge to look around, like fully zoom out to see all the scenery, or the other way, fully zoom in to see all the crew just hanging around the camp and how they all interact with each other. You definitely get the feeling that life has been put into these motionless drawings, whether it just be the way that they're speaking, or a subtle change in movement to the next scene, if they're angry or sad. It feels just like they have feelings. And I mean, big props to the talented artists who've worked on these games, because I can tell the soul that's been put into them. The Pale Beyond has been a fantastic ride through the South Pole, and whilst I've completed my journey, I still feel like something's calling me to go back and fully complete the game, you know? Get all the achievements, which I'm very tempted to do. Normally I'll just put this type of game down, but the ice, oh, the current underneath is too strong and I'm being dragged away. Help! Please help me! But yeah, I definitely recommend this game to anyone who's been on the iceberg about it. You're in for a ship ride of a lifetime. I hope you all enjoyed the review, and I'll catch you all next time. Goodbye!